Coach, the topic of recruiting has come up a lot the last couple of days from a few angles. Is a different approach needed for the level of consistency?
Well, we're in the season right now. We'll do recruiting after the season, and when it gets to recruiting time, we can talk about recruiting.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next question.
Can you tell us a little bit about that day and how that, when did you know that was, blowing up, oh, crap?
Okay, this is off season, so yeah, good off season fodder here. So all right, so of course Florida plays Georgia. Kirby Smart's talking about recruiting and all that, and look, I kind of broke my own rule, not to ask about recruiting during the season. That is a rule I've given myself, but at the time I was like, you know what, Kirby's bringing it up. I think it's worth bringing up. So this was when we were still doing Zoom press conferences. Because this is 2021, so this is after the COVID year, of course, remember, but they were still doing Zoom press conferences at Florida, thankfully for me, because I'm here in Jacksonville. So, of course, we get our normal Monday press conference, and you guys know now, usually in those press conferences, it's like Edgar or Mark Long who gets to go first. For whatever reason, they picked me first. And I don't know why, and I'm like, and that's I kind of knew going in, as soon as it happened, instantaneously in my mind, I was like, "Oh crap, this isn't gonna be good." I was like, I did not want this to be the first. I did not want this to be the first question. So I asked the question. You guys know the history there, and so it went exactly about like I thought it would. But at the time, guys, I did not want that to happen. I thought it was a possibility that could go that way, but I wanted to kind of ask it in a way where I thought it would be a T-ball question for Mullen to kind of sell Florida. What probably 95% of the coaches would have done. We got a great place. We believe in what we're doing. We want guys to come to Florida, blah, blah, blah. Instead, he got defensive, and you all know the story there. But that's just kind of how it happened. But then, of course, he shuts down media for the rest of the week, and I got people calling me and jokingly say, "Oh, way to go! We can't get anything this week because of you." But no, that was not serious. It was a joke running around the circles there. A lot of people were mad at Florida and Mullen for allowing him to do that and cut off communication. But yeah, it was crazy. Of course, I was getting Twitter DMs and phone calls like crazy. Of it kind of being the first steps of what ended up eventually happening with him getting fired later that year. But yeah, there was. I don't usually. You guys know me in the season. I'm about the football program. I'm about the games being played. I'm not a big recruitnik during the season. I live for those 4 months of the year. But with it being such a hot topic, Kirby Smart bringing it up, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll ask about it. And more so just because I hope Mullen hits a home run here with the answer, but it went the complete opposite way.
They thought you were a sunshine pumper. They didn't want to let Mark Long talk about it.
Billy saw that Dave question right before you walked out there and had to make sure he pointed him out so he knew whenever he was asking a question to answer it real good.
Oh, this guy's insane. He's going to give me a softball.
Yeah, I didn't know. It was the first time I ever got to go first at a press conference, but that was the result. That was the result of it.
That is hilarious hearing that, Dave. Thank you for that story. That's hilarious.
Are we currently in recruiting season right now?
I think under Napier, he's fine with it. He's fine to talk about it anytime.
I think under any coach that should be
this breakdown is.
I think that should be the outlook for any coaches. I mean, there's a reason Kirby is as good as he is. Every day is recruiting season.
And look,
Kirby recruits.
Yeah, and look, and I'll say with that.
Hey, contrast that to your experience with Billy, obviously, and as far as like the personalities, maybe, and also the recruiting philosophy. Good.
Yeah, I mean, for Mullen, he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it in the way we don't recruit during the season, of course, but that's the way it was taken. That was the way it was misconstrued because I think people were just ready to pounce on him and jump on him after that comment. It was more we'll talk recruiting during recruiting season, but of course there's not a recruiting season. But I think we all knew what he meant. But as I said, I think he just got pounced on because of the situation. For Napier, I just think. First of all, I like his personality. I think he is down to earth, personable. Whether you get a lot out of what he says in press conferences or not, I think that's just who he is. I think I was fortunate enough to ask him his opening press conference. I was fortunate enough to ask a question there, and the question I did ask him was about his philosophy of calling plays and how he was going to fill out a staff, and that's when he first let us know he was going to hire 2 offensive line coaches and he was going to call the plays. There. So, I got to ask a question right away, and, I don't get to go to Gainesville, for the Monday press conferences or midweek press conferences. So if I get to ask anything, it's after games or what I share with you guys when I get usually I get my question in for the SEC teleconference because I can just call in, and that's a weekly thing there. So I try and make myself normal there on the SEC teleconference. So, but every interaction I've had with him, even behind the scenes, I've been on campus a little bit, doing stuff with, NIL and Florida Victorious, Gator Collective, and been around Napier in that environment as well. So it's just, I hope it works out because I like the dude. I like the man, the person that he is. I hope it works out, but we all know this is about wins and losses. But as I said, and I've said it plenty of times the last month or so, if he gets this thing rolling, I think it will be hard to stop just because of how he has built it and kind of who he is and how he operates. He's just got to get it going.